Good afternoon, folks. Chief Meteorologist Nick Lilia here with a look at your tropical update for July 17th of 2019. Things a little bit calmer out there for today. Thanks to good folks at Pine Belt Gutters, as always, for helping us out with your tropical update. All right, so let's take a peek at water temperatures out there. We've got a little plume of some warmer water out near or in between Bermuda and the Bahamas. We've always got warm water in and across parts of the Gulf of Mexico, and we are starting to heat things up as you head out into the open Atlantic. Is there anything out there to be concerned about? Well, across the Gulf of Mexico, not really. Barry left, and back in behind Barry, not really much to speak. A little bit of a swirl down here, but outside of that, things looking reasonably clear. Out into the Caribbean we go, and really not much to speak of there. We've got a little wave down here, but that's about it. And then coming off the coast of Africa is actually a decent looking wave right in here. It's pretty stout, though generally at this time of the year, as soon as they get out over the open waters, yeah, they kind of fall apart. Looks really good over land, not so much as it gets out over the water. Let's take a look at the modeling. 700 millibar moisture, 850 vorticity. There's that little wave coming off of the African coast. They're a little swirly, by the way, is actually moving into parts of Mexico, but we're going to kind of keep tabs on this little guy as it drifts across the Atlantic. It's going to interact with a lot of this dry air that you see out here, and then there's another little wave back in behind it. But just look at the expanse of the dry air that just shoots all the way out across the Atlantic. The Gulf of Mexico, not full of dry air, but there's really not much to speak of there. As we head through the end of our available model data, look at all this dry air just pouring to the south in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, back in behind a little frontal boundary as we head through next week. This is Thursday of next week. There's an outside chance that at the surface, now we're looking up into the mid-levels of the atmosphere, we're about 4,000, 10,000, 15,000 feet up here. As we head through middle to late parts of next week, that will actually have a little area of low pressure kind of sneak off of here and end up into the Gulf of Mexico again, a lot like Barry. The big difference this time, as compared to when we had to deal with Barry, is there's going to be a little bit of shear, a good northerly flow, push of dry air. I know this all sounds familiar, but it is going to be a little bit different because as this thing peels back, it's not going to get completely out over the Gulf of Mexico. It's going to stay real close to shore. At least that's the model data right now. Plus, the MJO continues to drift away from us, and that's closing the door on the easy access to some extra organizational energy. And then, you get back out into the Atlantic, and we're still talking about ample dry air. So there's a look at your tropical update for July 17th of 2019, brought to you by the good folks at Pine Belt Gutters.